no way in the world that any member of Congress had read through it. See, a lot of times they pretend that, you know, well, we're different here, we got speed reading or something. I don't know. But the notion that they actually read it is ludicrous. And that is a disaster for the country when people are voting on bills that they don't have any idea what's in them. And so that's I won't let them do that. I say, listen, if you're going to get my vote, we're going to understand what we're doing here. And you're exactly right. The ambiguous nature, even in this bill, as long as it is, you'd think that they could be specific in it. But unfortunately, if you read this bill, you'll find that someone that was actually enforcing it would have tremendous latitude to take it even in a worse direction. The problem is kind of ironic that they couldn't take it in a better direction. The bill's written so you can't take it in a more free direction, but you can sure take it all the way to the outer limits of socialism. So, please.
I was down there last at JD's, and Trent is inspired. I was watching you, and you listen, you're learning from that town hall we had downtown. And Trent is inspired. I watched that. He is inspired.
Are you from Mesa? Sir?
He said inspired. I'm inspired by you.
Are you from Mesa?
I'm inspired by you guys. I wish sometimes I could be a little more inspiring.
Okay, how many American citizens are truly without access to any form of health care coverage? Is it 47 million or 15 million?
Yeah. Well, when you talk about without access to any health coverage, the real answer is that any American, the way our laws are written, and I don't think this is what the questioner anticipated me to say, but any person in this country that goes into an emergency room, we have laws that they're supposed to treat them. So really, in a sense, no one is without care in America. Asking the question, who are those people who genuinely do not have the money, that they want health care insurance and they do not have the money to buy it? The best I can tell is somewhere around 11 million when you break it all down. Even though I know they talk about the 47 million, there's huge numbers of college students in there that don't want health care. There's a huge number of people in there that's above $75,000 in income and just don't buy health care insurance. And that's their right, but I'm saying to you that those that want health care that cannot afford it, looks like there's around 11 million. And I want you to know that I am deeply concerned about those people. And what we can do, and this is what the alternative bills that we have do, we can do two things. We set up pools in each state, which the federal government incentivizes, financially and otherwise, to be able to cover the quote uninsurable, those who have pre-existing conditions. We do that with, how many of you, when you lost your last job, also lost your auto insurance? No, because your auto insurance is owned by you, isn't it? It goes with you. See, that's what we need with our health care insurance. When you have uninsurable drivers, you know, when some insurance company just says, no man, you've hit 28 school buses. There are ways that under certain rules that we still insure people that are high risk insured, just like we can do with people who have pre-existing conditions. So that's one aspect of it. And for those people who can't afford it, government has to have the debate on how much taxpayers should assist them. But once they do, rather than taking over the healthcare system and saying, well, we'll give it to you the way we choose, why not put a draft or voucher in your hand and say, go buy the private health care insurance of your choice, and let's keep this thing private. I'll squeeze my answers down a little bit.
Okay, Daniel, do you have anybody over there? I don't see you.
No.
Oh. Go right ahead.
Hello, Congressman. I'm Greg Rucker from here in Glendale, live in the area over here. One, I didn't suspicion I would get to be saying thank you for what you're doing with SBI. Was part of General Graham's original working group back in the late 70s, early 80s, so it's really a treat for me. I moved here from out of state in 2003, and I'm in a district with a congressman who's doing such great work, obviously, to keep that program moving forward so we don't have a rogue nation kill millions of us someday. Thank you for number one. point is I've actually spent 25 years in the health insurance business. I've actually been the head of underwriting at one of the Blue Cross associations in another state. I think the federal program being proposed by the Congress and the Obama administration is a catastrophe. I don't need to go there. But what we really want to do is come back to what you've already started to address. How do we fix a real problem? I've met with many members over the years, and just in the last couple of years of the College of Actuaries who work with health insurance. The current system is not sustainable, Trent. Okay, there is a problem, we're broke. All right, the democratic solution right this second is a train wreck, it's not going to work, whatever is happening, it's just not there. But we need to come up with a solution, and we maybe got a few years, and obviously, like you said, Republicans are not the majority now, but you mentioned the alternatives. I personally do not see the alternative plans that I've read so far, and I don't want to get into details, but like the large pools or simply buying across state lines somehow being a miracle cure. And let me one compliment you. I think you're in a unique position. If I understand correctly, you don't receive very much money from any insurance organization, so you can claim to be a pure broker, so to speak. But what can you see as the possibility that you could do personally or with some other group of Republicans or bipartisan group to try and get this debate out of where it is now and come to a more sane solution in the House? The same way it seems at least there's a couple of people talking in the Senate across partisan lines. I don't know. I mean, I'm just way off on left base here, but how do we fix it? Not to say that's not working.
I think your question is very cogent, and I've always said that in politics or anywhere, we should never criticize any plan unless we genuinely have what we believe in our hearts to be a better answer. And let me try, if I can, I'm going to take a few moments to try to expand a little bit. And I'm doing a little bit of this by memory, but I think the best bill that we have out there right now is well, I guess it's a combination of the bill of John Shattuck in this state, who's a great congressman. The Republican Study Committee. And I mentioned to you a couple of things that the Republican Study Committee alternative does. One, of course, is that it does these pools, and I'm just going to go ahead and reiterate these. And it also has pass-through tax credits to empower those who want insurance but can't afford it to go and buy it. It also lets you buy insurance from 1,300 to 1,500 insurance companies across the country rather than just within states. And I'll tell you, the difference within states is amazing, and it really could supercharge the competitive environment. It also does something else very fundamental and very significant. It limits these monstrous medical liability lawsuits that just... someone is negligently hurt, that they can get their damages. But you know, when people lose their psychic powers in a CAT scanner and sue the insurance company for that, you don't know what to do there. And so, but let me say to you that there are a lot of pretty significant elements to what I just mentioned. But let me give you an example. Some of the problem we have now, and I may get thrown out of here at this point because this is a tough one to say.
Congressman, let me interrupt you a second. I've just basically said I think the 3 points you've mentioned will not, and this is purely a personal opinion, but someone who's worked this field for 25 years will not provide a solution. I don't mean to say that they aren't important, especially there's a college student who popped her head up over here, so she needs one of those vouchers. So I'm with you on that. I'm with you on the concept that we need to make some money available to two basic groups. People who can't afford, are not covered under the current federal programs now, are making a choice between food, that eliminates food and health insurance. And then also the persons with catastrophic health problems who've fallen out of the system. They're out beyond COBRA or someplace else.
He wasn't listening. He spoke about pools.
Long wait to get health care again because it got a 12-month pre-ex period. I think that part, maybe it's going to be expensive, but it's possible that when the law was passed, it said that an insurance company can't turn down a company that has between 2 and 50 employees for health insurance.